Hello everyone. My name is Trager and I'm from the Rochester Institute of Technology. I'm basically a faculty guy who loves teaching. I do a lot of things. I teach, I tutor, and I advise students, specifically just students who are in the computing field. But before I start, my son, he's 5 years old right now. I teach him 3 different things every day. He does teach you guys 3 different things today. So the first thing I'm going to do is hold up the eye and go like this. It's Ithaca. It's Ithaca. Okay? And the next time is this. This is confident. Confident. And the next one is good. I'm going to be testing you at the end of that presentation. Keep it on that. Keep it on that. Alright. Okay. So I guess I got to do the actual presentation. It's about a direct learning tool that I came up with when I started noticing issues popping up when students were taking a programming course, specifically in an environment where they have, an interpreter, note taker, and basically an instructor who speaks. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. Let's do the call here. Basically, I want to say that there are about 31,000 job students across the nation attending about 2,300 colleges and universities across the country. This may seem like quite a bit. Chances are you probably have one at the college that you're working at. For IIT, we have about 1,500, so we have quite a bit. So 95% of colleges have at least one. So chances are you may have, just pass by them, maybe have them in your class. Then there's about 3.8 million ESL students, English as a second language. They kind of face the same language barriers as job students. Job students will tell you that they've learned English later on. They've learned time first, and then they've learned English later on. So sometimes they say that English is a second language. Basically, the nationwide graduation rate, the average is about 25% to a quarter. But that's not representative of the percentage of RIT. Actually, the NTID in general, about 72% of them graduate, which is significantly higher than the average across the nation. But still, compared with here, it's substantially low.
For any degree?
For any degree, yes. Thank you for asking. Talk about the 3 different learning styles. I'm sure you all know. Majority of learners are visual learners. For job students, most of them, if not all, are visual learners. Obviously, because our language is visual. Something dying for those guys that are looking at me, and it's how we communicate. It's interesting to learn that interpreters who become really good are themselves visual learners because they have to be able to pick up what they see. So oftentimes, if you have a student say, "Can I see that again?" that indicates that they're a visual learner. Or sometimes I missed what you just said, and that would be a trade learner, that they're more dependent on that type of information, depending on whether it's visual or auditory. It's not a word sensory compensation, just because we lost our hearing doesn't mean that we're more, we can receive information better visually. It's just that we're more sensitive. If you imagine a blind person, we probably pay attention more to hearing things around them, or be more sensitive to feeling things. Doesn't necessarily mean she hears better. It's just she pays attention more to it. Just like art. So I pay attention more to what I see. I don't know if you've noticed, but this projector changed a bit. It's the first thing I noticed. It bothered me. So it's important for a visual learner like me that examples are clear, that they have graphs to represent something, at least make a connection to a topic that you're talking about during class or whatever it is the topic's about. Oftentimes with programming, it's very abstract, and it's hard to make it into something concrete. But it's very important when you can choose some kind of a metaphor to help students visualize that is a representation of a concept you're talking about. It helps them to understand what you're talking about. So learn by sight. That's what I've been doing all my life. I was born deaf myself. I don't know why, but I've learned everything through my eyes, whether it be books, whether it be sign language, videos, thank God for YouTube. So this means I need adequate time to collect information. You know, oftentimes information goes by really fast. And we're in an information age now where things are happening. I'm really appreciative of having computers to allow me to have access to a bunch of stuff. But when I'm learning something in a classroom, things happen really fast. And I have to either decide to look at the interpreter, if I can look at the PowerPoint, or the video, or the instructor. Why the instructor? Well, sometimes I like to look at the body language of the instructor. Sometimes they tell me more than what's being done in class. So I like to be able to get as much as I can. But regardless of my choice, I'm going to lose something. Vision is directional, and sound is omnidirectional. So when you think of a mag light, how many of you have one? A mag light? It's a flashlight where you can adjust it. You can adjust the intensity of your flashlight to see something specific better. But if you adjust it to see more, you don't see it as good as when you make it really intense in the sun. That's kind of the way we get information. If we want to see as much as we can, we could, but we're not going to get everything. You see what I mean? So going to direct versus mediated instruction. Direct means that I'm getting information directly from my instructor. Mediated is I'm getting information through an interpreter. So, two different things. The interpreter are usually available in a mainstream environment where a deaf person has needs and they need someone to be able to help them understand what's going on. Even though they can give me the best interpreter in the world, I would still be missing information. My test score could be low. Who knows? But directly based on learning in the classroom, I will not get everything. So I will have to catch up with books or with other resources available to help me keep up to speed. So it's not to imply that activities are false, it's just that the environment, well, it's just not optimal for a person like me. This one is regards to the ability to relate concept to each other. When watching the same lecture, they'll have a person standing, and then they'll have a person talking for somebody who can hear and somebody who needs to see sound. They'll watch the same lecture. Those people can recall individual items just fine. It's just the same. But when talking about how the ideas relate to each other, they have a hard time. So it goes with building information based on previous knowledge. They have a really hard time trying to connect to those. So what I tend to do is I use a metaphor and I stick with it throughout the whole course. So I keep using the example and I say, do you remember last year I used this example? They say, oh yeah, okay, now imagine I'm doing this way. To help them to say, oh, okay, I get it. I remember you talking about that and I'm able to make that connection. So it's very important, and that was something new to me when I was doing that. I had no idea. But it started to make sense the more I teach. That it's very important to show some kind of relation to prior concept to that you're teaching now or in the future. Basically, this one kind of inspired me to do what I did with this study. The Instructional tool study basically examines various multimedia strategies. One would be videos, one would be diagram pictures, or adjunct questions, follow-up questions. To see which one of those seems to be more effective. They did 11 lessons in the human eye. They had 144 just participants. They broke them up into low, medium, and high in regard to their reading ability. Let me back up a little bit. I just want to share the 8% just students actually have an 8th grade or higher reading level across the country. Most of them, most of the ones who have the ability to read those are in college, probably at MTID. So that kind of gets to me a little bit because 8% is really low, and it's oftentimes because they're isolated by themselves, and it's hard for schools to accommodate them. The environment is just not optimal. So anyway, this study showed that just by test alone, and out of a maximum score of 11, the participants would get 6.9. So all the questions are related to just what they read, and it's 6.9. So of all the multimedia strategies that they tried, it seemed the adjunct question to be the most effective. It showed a 2.8 point increase to help them recall information after they just read something. But they had an increase of 3.7 when they had all the videos, pictures, all the questions to help them understand and recall information. So it seems that low reading skills really take advantage of the videos, the pictures, and everything. They really take advantage of that because they depend on them. Because the reading skills may not be adequate to help them understand the lessons on the human eye. So basically, it seemed to be effective. So I decided to incorporate all the multimedia stuff that they did in the study to see if it would actually make a difference for students who are learning programming in general. So this application I developed, if we have time, I'll be able to show you a demonstration. Basically, I give them the application, and they can click on various topics that they feel they need to review, or they can go through all of them. You can click next, watch the video, read, however they want to learn. I told them they can take the time they need. And if there was a question that popped up, it would not let them proceed any further. It would make them answer the question. If they didn't get it right, they would have to go back, review it, and make sure that they get the questions right. So I did a research study. Got 41 participants. That's over a span of 4 years. We have about 56 students in the IT program. So being able to get 41 was difficult. So what I did, I administered test 1, and then they meet the application I developed, and then I gave them a second test. Second test was slightly harder. I wanted to see, to measure if they actually learned something. Now some of the questions were multiple choice, some were fill in the blank. So it was a mixture of both. So I also gave them a survey just to see if they liked it, didn't like it, whatever. They all said positive things about it. They actually wanted more, and I'm only one person with 2 hands, so, and I wish I could make more. I'm hoping to get a grant someday to expand on this. So each test I gave out, I have 14 questions. 1 point given to each. So here's what happened. The first time they took the test, they scored 50%, which is not good because they were taking programming at the same time. They were actually in the class. So 50%, I'm sure any instructor wouldn't feel so good about that. So 50%. So after an average about 35 minutes with the application, the scores went up to 60%. Not bad for 35 minutes. So maybe if they did another 35 minutes, they would have gotten done. I would be happy. Want to compare the game scores. If you see that column that says CP, indicates communication preference. Let me explain to you. ASL means that a person prefers sign language. He does not talk at all. He just silent. SimCom is what I'm doing right now, simultaneous communication, signing and talking at the same time, which is very hard, by the way. And the last one is all, is obviously they speak and they don't sign. So what was very interesting to me was that all students are getting the most with a hearing instructor. They didn't really need sign language, but they seemed to go up the most. But all of them did getting somewhat, but it was just very interesting to me. But also some of the other students had a Jap instructor. They had direct instruction. While the games were not the same, it was a little bit less. So it was hard to analyze what was happening there. I wish I kind of knew more about it, but they are getting somehow. But the all students seem to get the most with either instructor. This one was the interesting part, was that the low scoring group seems to have gained the most. There's a significant difference among the low scoring group. They benefited the most. Now those who scored high did gain in the test group, but not as significant as the low scoring group. So what does all that mean? Well, a tool like this could be beneficial. but it will have to be convenient as well. What I did was basically on a CD-ROM, and that's old fashioned right now. So right now it's all web-based, and that's something that I would like to go in the future. But that doesn't mean that it only works for just students. It could work for, I'm going to say, the second language, for those who are having language barriers. Having videos, pictures, some sort of example to help them make the connection, that could really help them. List of my references, and I'm opening the floor for questions. As told, I have 3 minutes left.
What's that See-to-Learn software you were referring to?
Oh, I can show you. This is basically a software I developed with Macromedia Director. And you can see I put the video there. I can control it. Has caption on or off. Some students like to see the words on top of the video. And they could read it. They could click on any of these topics whenever they're ready. If I click on here, and there's a diagram here of a flow chart of a programming logic, and it shows the condition. They can click on true, anyway. So if it was true, what would happen? We'll go to statement 1. And then to come to the false, we'll go the other way. I'm going to show them how the program works, just running this block of code.
I would be curious how the testing would be if the students use this software for taking the test, so they can see the video of the professor signing the question with the text of the question also.
That's very interesting.
I'm wondering if the test scores could improve.
Yeah, that's a very interesting question. So the answer to that, I think it would help them in some ways to help them really see the signs. I'm sure that for those who have low reading level, may benefit that more. Be able to really sometimes signs can really remind you of something. I tend to place emphasis on some of the signs that I do. As you can see that in my age equal 19, I call that a sign, and I do this all the time, and I emphasize that a lot. I tell students, remember? And then when I do it again, and I say, what is that? And they all say, like this. So I can imagine a question has something like this, and they see this, probably would help them remember something that they've learned in the past.
I happen to teach RIT as well, and I've worked with interpreters. And just seeing what you have here with the video of you signing, why do you think it is they don't tape more of the interpreters in the class as either a supplement or replacement for notes that are taken. I mean, especially saying that they're more visual learners, wouldn't that be kind of handy to have that, to be able to refer to the actual video of the, or like I say, or with the other written notes? I don't think I've ever seen that.
Yeah, anything that supplement note, like in the video, I think would be very helpful. What I currently do is I make about a 3-minute video after every class, and I post them on my courses. Basically, I just sum up what I talked about. I just pick out like the top 3 things that I want them to know or to recall. And so I just thought that would be.
Well, I see where that works with you, but I can't sign, so I mean, I can't do that.
Right. Which department do you work with?
Mechanical engineering.
Mechanical engineering.
So we have a number of mainstream students every quarter. I have a student in a class this quarter, actually.
Yeah, there are support faculty in the engineering department. I'm sure if you talk with them, present the idea of having some kind of video that they can do for you if you want, and have them sign it and use it for your class. Adam? Adam. Okay, this is time for Ithaca. Ithaca, sorry, conference? Conference, good? Good.